I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
Happy Friday and TGIF. In just a few days' time, in fact, on Monday, the 20th of January, there's a major event that's going to shape the landscape of the crypto industry. And that, of course, is the fact that Donald Trump is taking the oath of office and becoming the 47th president of the United States. We're not really talking about politics in this video. Maybe you like Trump, and if you do, that's okay. I like Trump. Maybe you don't. But again, politics aside, as far as the industry is concerned, the cryptocurrency industry, the one that we all find ourselves in, is really more hopeful than ever when it comes to things like regulatory clarity and friendly crypto policies and legislation from the US government, more so than any other time before. This begs the question, can we potentially be entering into a new golden age of crypto? The reality is we don't know. But the truth of the matter is that certain projects, certain altcoins, are in much better positions to benefit directly from a new Trump administration than others. We're going to consider these altcoin projects in this video and look specifically at 3 legacy coins that honestly we haven't talked about in quite a while, and all 3 of these are expected to get a very nice price bump from the new Trump White House. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. I wish you all the best of luck if you choose to invest, whether that's into these projects or others. I hope you do very, very well. But I am not a financial or investment advisor. Just keep that in mind, and also remember that by extension, this video is not official financial or investment advice. The first project that we're looking at on this list is a dear old friend in the form of Litecoin, ticker LTC. And you probably remember, if you've at least been in this space for at least a couple of cycles, back a few years ago, it was Litecoin for payments and Bitcoin for savings. Litecoin was also commonly referred to as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. And you know what? Honestly, Litecoin is still a great project, but Litecoin, probably more than any other project, got hurt from the emergence of Tether and USDC stablecoins for crypto payments. That being said, though, Litecoin is still everywhere and remains popular for transactions. Just take this BitPay data, for example, which reflects the fact that Litecoin is still popular for payments and moving money around. And Litecoin has completed 300 million transactions in its long history. 92 million of those were in 2024. So adoption and growth are actually accelerating on the Litecoin network, despite the fact that nobody has really been talking about this project. It has certainly remained under the radar. A lot of people would argue underrated and undervalued as well. There's also talk of a Litecoin ETF. Canary has already filed an S1. That's the first big stage in trying to get ETF approval. They've amended it to make it more attractive to new incoming SEC chair, Paul Atkins, who, of course, as we know, is replacing Gary Gensler. Gensler, kind of the bane of a lot of people's crypto existence, he's stepping down at the same time that Trump is being inaugurated, so on January 20th. And as we've said in lots of other videos, anybody other than Gary Gensler to head the SEC is basically addition by subtraction. Atkins does represent a positive, though. He is a crypto guy and has been on the board of the asset tokenizing platform Securitize for 5 years. And this means approvals for legitimate projects like 13-year-old Litecoin are in much better hands and are more likely to happen under Atkins' watch. Just take the possible ETF, for example. That is already one sign of how LTC benefits from the incoming Trump administration. As I record here, LTC is up over 15% on the day, and quietly, LTC holders have earned about 70% in the last 12 months. It's actually the number 23 project by market cap. It just recently jumped ahead of Bitcoin Cash, actually, which now makes Litecoin the most successful Bitcoin hard fork officially. Litecoin's proof-of-work mining algorithm script lets Bitcoin miners mine Litecoin as well, which means it's a decentralized network. And thanks to Mimblewimble, Litecoin processes more privacy-based payments. They do more confidential transactions than any other network. So it's a great privacy play as well. Look, for a lot of people, Litecoin never went away, but if you think it did, and I wouldn't fault you for having that opinion, that's okay, but all of a sudden, LTC is back in a pretty big way, actually. Now, if there's one project whose behavior is kind of hard to pin down and understand in this market in terms of its price, it is Ethereum. Number 2 on our list here. ETH is the ticker, of course, ETH. It's up a decent 15 or so, 20% in the last 3 months, but down almost the same amount in the last 30 days, to be honest. There seems to be almost no retail interest in Ethereum, and with that, it's actually fallen off of a lot of people's radars. But does that mean no one is transacting there? No, it does not. Here are the last 7 days of transactions on Ethereum. Just look at who the top senders and receivers are. For those of you who may not know, Wintermute is a huge market maker like DWF for the industry. And other than Wintermute and one private wallet address, every other top sender and receiver is an exchange wallet. So Binance, Coinbase, and Bybit, these are in the lead. Coinbase is particularly interesting here. They and Coinbase Pro are custodians for most of the Ethereum ETFs in the United States. So what's going on exactly? Well, retail has moved to EVM for faster, cheaper transactions or to layer 2 networks. You probably already know that Arbitrum and Optimism are popular and getting more popular daily. And then also Scroll, Blast, and others, they're coming online. But the big difference here is Base. That's because Base in a very short time has done 1.6 billion transactions on its network. Plus, it's the easy way for Americans to get on-chain directly from their Coinbase exchange account. And all of this very much benefits Ethereum. It's one of the reasons that Coinbase is such a huge sender and receiver of ETH every day. And then on top of that, there are also the fees to keep in mind. This recent transaction batch from yesterday on Base shows a fee of $476 in ETH. And this batching happens many times a day, so the Ethereans are making money, that's for sure. It is also important to understand that Ethereum is still one of the leading projects, no matter what people say. When it's down, as it is now, as we saw in the last 30 days, the fact is it's just a good time to buy. And for the sake of brevity in this video, we're not even going to get into all the possible expansion of ETFs that will probably, quite likely, actually happen under Trump. Most people who trade in crypto are momentum traders. Maybe they find a trend like AI agents, which is so popular right now, and then try to trade it while the trend is upward and make some money. But often real money, like life-changing money, comes from looking where others are not. It's buying good assets at depressed values and then waiting for the market to correct itself. And I'd argue that that's what you'd be doing if you were to get Ethereum right now. No one is really talking about ETH except in negative tones for the most part. When it does finally make its comeback, this current dip from $4,000 down to about $3,200 is going to look like one of the best buying opportunities of the year. And finally, for today, we have another blue chip project that we don't talk about all that often in the form of Hedera Hashgraph. Ticker is HBAR, HBAR. As a semi-private blockchain, there are many that don't want to associate with Hedera or HBAR, admittedly. But we do have to face facts. What they don't have in decentralization, they actually do have in terms of positioning in the RWA market, real-world assets. And they are also in the unique position of being one of the few cryptos that have been approved for many years in the United States. Every exchange open to Americans does offer HBAR, unlike some other more popular tokens out there. Hedera is also one of the leading ISO 222 coins. That is a global compliance standard for financial transactions. Historically, we haven't really talked much about this standard, but every ISO 222 project is in a pretty good position to grow from a Trump administration. Coinbase Prime, which is a good proxy for US institutional interest in a project, they just accepted HBAR so institutions can buy it more easily. Yet another sign that more demand and liquidity are coming to Hedera. And so just to summarize the kind of bullish sentiment that I've been trying to express in this video, in a nutshell, Trump seems to like crypto, or at least that's what he's projecting for political reasons or otherwise, but that's the tone. He uses it and he claims to own it. He wants clearer regulations and really for the United States to become the global leader in cryptocurrency. And that's understandable. This, in a lot of ways, is kind of like an economic or a financial arms race. He's kind of looking out for the interests of the United States in that context as its commander-in-chief. And ISO 222 tokens like Hedera, HBAR, they're already getting ahead of other tokens. Others will be trying to go through the hopefully clear compliance regulations to come from the SEC, also the CFTC, or other US agencies. We are going to be hitting on this topic more and more, especially on Hedera specifically in future videos, but there are clear and obvious ways that these three projects benefit from the new Trump administration. Again, that's happening in just 3 days if you're watching this video at the time of publication. I don't know about a new golden age for crypto, but certainly there's reason to be optimistic. There's reason to be bullish. Let me know what you think about this whole situation and give us your sentiment in the comments below.